Welcome back to TWC Home Improvements Podcast, episode 10. And this time, how do we keep abreast with everything that TWC are doing? How do we know what's right for us? Today, we're looking at how the information is brought to life and brought to the masses. So welcome back to episode 10 of TWC Home Improvements. As I say, we're going to find out how it's all brought to life. Ironically, this is one part of it.
Absolutely.
Joe, Andy, welcome, gents.
How are we doing? You all right?
It feels like ages since I've seen you.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
But
It's been lovely.
Sorry. Wow, you just moved further away from me. He gets all confident now, doesn't he? But delighted to say we've got Sara Whittam, or as Andy calls her, Sara.
On purpose.
From Evil Empire Marketing. And Sara, I for one know that you brought us in to do this, to bring these lovely people to life.
It was your fault. Your idea.
It was.
Yes,
It was. We talked about what it's like pitching to you last episode, didn't we? I got the flink, as we were saying that. But welcome, Sara.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel being on this end instead of taking the photo?
Yes, weird, very weird, especially with all the cameras. I'm like, no, it's good, it's fine, it's all right.
First things first, what is it that you do with TWC so we can position that?
Yeah, sure. So TWC, what we do is run their organic social media. We also take part in the wider marketing piece, so around things like awards, events, and anything and everything kind of marketing wise to sort of bring the company to life for everybody.
I was just looking down, remembering that, there's one down there, Male Entrepreneur of the Year Award.
Wow, so
Finally.
we've already been through this. We already know that he made that award up. So I actually won it, and it was up the night that Sara was there.
As a witness.
And actually, Sara, because you were the only person to have come on the podcast that was there that evening.
Yeah.
When they announced the actual finalists,
Yeah,
they only mentioned my name. Is that right, or did they mention Joey's name?
that is correct. Yeah.
Purely because of alphabetical order.
They only mentioned my name, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't say Joseph at all, actually.
No,
did they?
no.
Don't remember hearing that. So, sorry, carry on with the episode. And that's me done. So good night. Good night. Thank you very much.
I think we get it every episode is a great glimpse of why I think both of you and I were in cahoots on this one, in the fact that we agreed that these characters need to be brought to life, basically.
Yes, most definitely.
People buy from people. People trust people, and I think that's a key thing. And you get to have a lot of fun with the social media and increasing that presence.
Yes, I do. And what I like the most about working with these guys is that they're always up for a harebrained scheme. Yeah. They're always up for a bit of fun. They understand the value in the social and what that brings to their customers, and kind of bringing the whole family business to life, all the products, services, the feeling you get when you work with TWC. When you buy a product, it's a big decision half the time with all of these products, and we want to make sure that you're looked after, that you understand you're buying into family run, lovely business that could not give you enough information before you make all those important decisions.
I think the big thing for me is that we might have this fantastic business, we might have this fantastic ethos, we might have this brilliant customer journey, but actually, unless we shout about it, unless we get it out there, how would anyone know? You know, if the doors are shut and we're in there going, oh, this is amazing. But the whole reason that we buy into social media, the awards, all these sort of the podcast, all these sorts of things is actually we believe we offer a great service, you know, so therefore it's up to us to shout about that so that actually the customers can understand that. And that's what Sara does so well.
I think what Sara's managed to do is quite incredible, actually. She's managed to get me on a camera, which
I have. That is my biggest achievement.
The first time he did it, you know, he was doing that. But...
And I'll say the reason why is obviously, you know, as director of TWC, you see the adverts, you see Joey's door videos on the website. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. Talk about the different colours of the composite doors and stuff. Please watch them. You'll have a great time. What I liked was Sara's vision of trying to get the personalities out, because sometimes we've often been a little bit, not embarrassed, that's probably the wrong word, but I'm not as eloquent as Joseph, but I'm sometimes a little bit afraid of showing our characters. We're quite big personalities. We like a laugh, we like a joke, but actually it's been revealing how important it is to share that with the customers, to make them realise that it isn't just a window company, it isn't just a product. There are real personalities, and the way we get our staff together and motivate them. So that was how impressed I was with you.
100%.
In fact, I'm sat on a camera. If that makes sense. I listened.
Because obviously it's like, you know, it always was there. It was always myself on the camera and stuff like that. And obviously we had a bit of back and forth about it and things like that. But
Really?
It was great, and you are right. It was Sara that said, "Come on, this would be great," because at the end of the day, people want to see what is behind the curtain or whatever. And I think that's what's so great about these podcasts, about the other things that we do, where we, you know, push things out there. It's real, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is fantastic.
And it is real. And, you know, Sara, you've become really good at AI recently, I believe.
Oh my God, here we go. We all know how fond Joey is of AI. Anyway, no, we don't use AI for any of your stuff.
No, absolutely. And
We love it. We love it.
that is a big part of it, isn't it? That's a big part of it.
Getting that personality, that thing
Authenticity.
that you can't get with AI. And I'm having a joke because Sara tells us off often.
Yeah.
Oh, don't look at AI, guys. Stop doing that.
I think you just basically text everyone in AI. Don't you? Have you written anything recently since it came out? Like, I'm coming home for dinner. Get chat to do it.
No, I think, yeah, well, I
Chatbot AI. Please text wife. Love you.
He's probably got a bank of them.
Yeah, like my wife, I love her. No, I did present a poem at my grandmother-in-law's 80th birthday, and I do admit it was a poem written by AI.
Okay, so I'm going to go a
I
little
passed
step.
it off as my own.
I'm going to go a little step further than this, because that's a nice one that he's done, and people will go, "Oh, that's really sweet." What he also does is his son plays for Shrivenham, with a team that we sponsor and we do a lot of work with.
Goalkeeper.
And he's a goalkeeper for the under-7s.
Correct.
And after every match, all of the team parents don't realise that Joey.
Well, half of them realise. The other thing I'm Wordsworth.
Yeah, he writes a poem based upon what he's seen in Chat AI and shares that
I've seen
around.
that.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joey loves AI.
Yeah. He
But
really
we can
does.
confirm that Sara doesn't use AI.
At all.
She believes it to be a
And
swear word.
I did say that I would say she likes AI during this, and she said if I did, she'd kick me. She hasn't kicked me, so-
You can edit that bit out.
Yeah, you forgot you're going to be down this end.
As she posted it, I don't think it's going.
Well, I mean, isn't there even something for when you're at the events?
Oh wow, Sarah's idea actually. Lockie the dog. We do shows.
It's not
and
my idea.
She loved it, and Lockie's actually got a theme tune that Sara came up with completely on her own. It was
Did not.
absolutely, honestly, it's fantastic, and we do shows, as you guys from our last episode know. We're part of the network, and my sister, because we work a lot with the other companies, and my sister went to Trademark, and they've got Trademark Ted, which is a company in Reading.
Yeah.
And we've wanted to do some shows for a while, but we haven't had a mascot. So
And when you say shows, just county shows
County
and
shows.
stuff
The
like
one
that.
we're doing is the Uffington White Horse Show, which is coming up quite soon.
So handing out leaflets, talking to people,
We need a
showcasing
mascot,
some of the
and
things.
I must say, if anybody in Swindon ever needs a company mascot, Sara is fantastic. fantastic. She came up with the concept of Lockie the dog. Lockie the dog, as you said, was an ex-security dog that's been put out of job because of TWC's fantastic composite doors. And Lockie, and you came up with that song. It was wonderful.
Do you know what? I'm going to make this even funnier because before, when you asked Sara, so what do you think of Lockie the dog?
I just went quite quiet and looked at it.
No, what I thought was that
a positive
essentially.
thing to say.
No, yeah, you went very quiet, but you were trying to think of a positive thing, so I appreciate
was,
that.
I
You
was.
couldn't think of one, but
No.
Just in case you couldn't tell by Sara saying, she definitely didn't come up with Lockie the dog. She has certainly had no part in the theme tune.
No, not that theme tune.
And
no.
Even though did you not notice he's recording it, doing the voiceover singing of it? That's the whole idea, isn't it?
But we have asked Sara to wear Lockie the dog at the next show, which if you do, I'll do some money for charity, or
Oh,
we
really?
we do a charity event. where
Okay.
we do
See, that's
some-
easy because they won't notice you underneath.
No. Yeah, you're not allowed to take your head off, are you,
At
when
all.
you're a mascot?
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Apparently, you got to remember though that normally it's the you're looking through the mouth, so don't look with your eyes down there. Your head's got to be
Chris,
up.
this is fine. I'm not
taking-
actually going to do it.
I'm taking it too seriously all of a sudden. Here we go. This is the podcast giving an insight into mascots. See, we just heard her say she's not
And
going
here's
to
the
do
dog
it.
now.
Even for charity, she's not going to do it. I don't know what to say.
Which charity would we like to do? Is there a local kids charity? we could do?
Okay. Right, but bringing everything to life, and that's what we're talking about. I've said numerous times is that these guys had an objective when they set up the business,
Yes.
that they wanted to do it the way they felt it should be done. We've openly said is that unfortunately your industry's got a reputation because the weakest link, I suppose, is the ones that people remember.
Yeah.
You didn't like it. You wanted to be done a different way. But the challenge is, Sara, that you can put that on a website in words or whatever, and you kind of go, well, yeah, anybody could say that.
Yes.
So you, whether it's the podcast, whether it's videos, whether it's posts, whether it's the social work, the charity work, you've got to show the authenticity of that statement.
Yeah, it all comes back down to sort of the strategies that we implement as a company for our clients as well. It's not just sort of throw enough stuff at the wall and hope some of it sticks. It's very, very calculated, very like, okay, well, where are the clients? Let's be on those channels. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're looking on YouTube, they want to listen to podcasts. So we try and sort of be where they are. We're also quite strategic about, like you say, the bring it to life. You can waffle on about anything on your website, but actually you want that pure sort of proof with all the sort of 5-star Google reviews, all the user generated content, all the comments that we get on posts saying, oh, TWC have done a fantastic job for us, we're really happy, that kind of thing. So, we're very strategic about that. So when we first started, I think you guys had sort of a couple of hundred reviews, and we've got quite a lot now.
1800.
Yeah, it's nearly 2,000,
Yeah.
something like that. And, I was literally just looking at stats earlier for all of the channels and just sort of putting a wild figure out there for the first half of the year. Through all of the channels that we're on, you've had like 5 million plus views, so we're getting out there, we're getting to people, that they're consuming that content, they're having a look at everything you do, and we're helping them make informed decisions about big purchases.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and if you look back at episode 9, where we had obviously the conservatory outlet. I struggled earlier with that.
Political.
Not political at all. There's a lot of labour involved in putting them up there to level it out there. But the conservatory outlet, as the manufacturer that you guys are with, is that it was a big deal to them, that sort of outreach, that awareness, the brand awareness that people are able to get, so that you are almost enforcing that accountability then. And it was a big deal to them as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The manufacturer.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the brand, getting our brand out there, with the showroom, we've got the big sign up and things like that. People see our sign written vans about the place, all the guys got uniform and things like that. So that is a big thing that we push, because I think when people see that, we want people to feel confident that we're going to do a good job, and they're going to be pleased with the journey that they're on with TWC. And I think the world has changed, from people looking you up in the yellow pages or whatever it might be.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, but that it is.
That's when I started.
That's exactly. That's
it was all print advertising when I started.
We used to do an awful lot. We used to do a lot of advertising in the local paper, which we still dip in and dip out of that. But realistically, how do people? If people turn around and say, my window's broken, my door's drafty, what am I going to do?
Front of mind, you want to be.
We want to be at the front of mind, but, people go on there and they'll either, look up a website or they look on social media, whatever it might be. And so actually that message has got to be consistent.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've spent a lot of time and effort doing, is trying to get that consistent message out there on all the different platforms.
And I also think the message is changing, and even now we're in talks with you guys at the moment about changing different approaches and what we want to do going forward. Because the old sort of historical way to advertise on the website is you put your website up there, you put an advert out, and you get Google and other companies and socials that they click on you and they go through to your website. But sort of since COVID, everyone's doing that. Everyone's got better at that. So you've just got to be ahead of that game again, and that's why it's exciting to work with you guys, to see that bringing that sort of personal. Everyone's sort of going down the AI route now, which you guys won't touch. And it's about having that personal touch, having that ability to, because we're a regional local company and our adverts have got to be regional local. There's no one better to create that than local people, than people that are part of this community that want to show,
get the people,
get it. We're a funny bunch down in the West Country. Joe has come to learn, haven't you, buddy?
I think when we're talking about, we were saying, I know we were joking about your Shrivenham FC chat GPT pair.
I was joking. Sorry.
I think it's very important, we get involved in that kind of stuff. I go down to the game with the guys, take some pictures, see what it's all about, get a feel for it all, and actually bring all that to life, because you guys do so many good things in the community for charity.
You were a Pokemon nerd that day as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Love it. You've got a Mewtwo.
Yeah,
I know. Anyway.
Wow, there's a whole other
episode 11 will be about that.
We'll have a battle.
What we talk to customers about, we do drill at home. We talk about the fact that we're a local family-run company, and that can just be words, but actually to us that means something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you get that, and you get that local, you get the family element, and the whole reason we met was, our kids went to the same school, and they became very, very close, and then we got talking, and it just kind of flowed from there. But there's something about that for me, when a customer's got loads of choice. Absolutely loads of choice in anything they do, but especially with home improvement. So why would a customer choose us? Well, I could list many reasons why, but unless we get in front of them, well, they're never even going to learn that, So actually that was what it was all about for us, really, is being immersed in that local element. We feel very lucky that we've got this fantastic showroom. We wanted to give back to the local community by getting a local artist in here. We just put some art on the wall this week, which,
I thought they were new.
Yeah. So we got.
I have been telling people I drew them, but there is a local artist.
Caris, and you can come in and sort of scan, the pictures, which takes her to our social media and things like that. We've obviously had charity events in here and bits and pieces like that, which for us is about immersing yourself in the people around us, and that for me is what it's all about.
Well, I know we did a thing when we had Santa come on the podcast episode, didn't we?
He's not so local, but
it's just as important though. But he has a local presence, so that's fine. But that whole event where this place becomes a grotto is that you guys don't take anything out of that.
No.
It's all to good causes and that experience that everybody can get. And I got the impression that was very much almost, I don't know who I'm aiming this question at. It was like, did you have that determined before you had the showroom, or did you have the showroom and went, do you know what we can do?
I think it was part of it, wasn't it, when we spoke earlier? Because when you take on a commitment like a showroom, you have to weigh up what you're going to do with the showroom, how you're going to use the space, how you're going to do this. And I think really early on in our conversation, because there were a few other options to have a smaller showroom, And quite early on in our conversations, we realised that we wanted to sort of try and not just be a showroom, have, because there's so many different showrooms, not necessarily in our industry, because we're lucky there's very few, but you go to a car showroom and it's cars, we wanted to try, if possible, to create a showroom which you could use all year round, really, wasn't it, and do more events. And actually we're just talking to you guys at the moment about doing more events in even more than we currently do. We'd like to do more. So yeah, it's just bringing in the community, isn't it? And
exactly.
Quite proud of it.
And that's something that you guys invest in, and genuinely, very impressive to watch and really nice. And then you get to bring that to life.
Yes.
She gets to get Joey to sing songs, don't you? So,
Yeah.
so you get to tell all of our installation teams not to get on their job on a Wednesday and bring them in to sing a song, don't you, Sara?
Well, yeah, it's Christmas.
It was Christmas jumper day. So I sent a message out to the whole team to invite them in for
I'd
tea
like
and
to say as well, I
scrumpets.
don't actually blame Sara. I'm going to call Joey out on this.
Okay, thanks.
You gave Joey almost 5 months' notice, I believe. 4 months.
I think the idea came to me about 4 a.m. on like a random Tuesday in September.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And she confirmed that idea with Joseph and myself and left Joseph because we obviously knew I wouldn't get for the Christmas jumper. Just being honest. So she left it with Joey to organise. And 2 days before, when jobs had been booked in for weeks, he decided to invite the whole of the installation department back to the showroom at 9 a.m. to do this song. And obviously,
have to get up early.
and thankfully to our customers who probably aren't watching, your doors were fitted in the morning because I said no.
The Christmas grin.
Oh, great. That's going to be cut about me again. But no shoes me. But yeah, no, fantastic.
I think it's sort of the ideas that we come up to it with as well between us. These guys are fantastic. They're sort of, I'll come up with something crazy. They'll come up with something crazy. We work really closely together, kind of
fun,
going,
isn't it?
what can we bring to life? It doesn't have to be boring. It can be fun, and we want customers to see that personality that we've got here at TWC, and it's just we can be relaxed with it.
But into what is the clever thing that you do is that you interlace the fun, the humour, the authenticity with educational stuff, so that it's bringing it all to life. It doesn't have to be done in a dull way. But we are there as consumers. I want to know, right, what are my options? What's your credibility? And that's what just oozes out from it.
And that's what we do. I think it's, if we're lucky enough that the company has grown year on year, every single year. So we're always taking on new members of staff, on installations, on sales, whatever it might be. And so I think when anyone comes into the business, we're always quite involved, in that process, because I think for us, it's very important to imprint into anyone that's new what we think is important about the business, and I think we always try and do it in a fun way, but it's fun yet serious, and what we do is very serious. We're talking about major renovation on property, on a customer's property. We're taking out, 26 windows. We're knocking out the back of the house and putting in a lintel, or we're putting on a extension on someone's property. We're not, it's not jovial things.
These extensions are literally the second biggest thing that someone will ever buy.
So they need to know that we're serious about what we do, and we are incredibly serious about it, but it doesn't mean that you can't have a bit of fun along the way. And I think that's the thing, what it is that we do. We go and see customers, we deal with customer complaints, we have all these things which in their own element aren't fun and light, but we try and have a bit of fun doing it. So we come in, we expect our guys to work hard, but we expect our guys to have a bit of fun doing it. And if we can have a bit of fun with the customers, then that's great.
I wanted to sound like David, was it David?
David Brent. Well, he's a boss first, but an entertainer second.
But you get more out of people by who enjoy coming to work.
100%.
And that's the fact. And the guys that come out and do the installations, or the girls and guys on the service department, the customer service, their job sometimes isn't fun. Dealing with a customer complaint which is trying to get sorted, and there's lots of reasons why it can't get sorted, and they're waiting on suppliers and stuff. These things aren't easy for them, but if they're sat there with a smile on their face, they deal with it a little bit quicker, don't they? And they deal with it in a more functional way rather than sort of, moping about. And it's important to try and portray that to the customer. We've had some great laughs and great times with some of our customers. apart from the one that tried to drive our digger at 3 o'clock in the morning, that wasn't that fun. But they thought it was funny, so it was all good. But no, we try and have a laugh with people, don't we? And try and make it enjoy it. And what's great about Evil Empire is you guys. Weird name, by the way, because you're definitely not evil, but I love it. But you really bring that out, and you manage to get us to do these podcasts and bring that forward into social media. And actually, you've managed to stop Joey doing videos about product that has really been.
Well, you have been quite vocal on that.
Oh. Good.
I mean, I would almost sort of replace the fun word with creativity, because that includes the fun side, but it's even the creativity of even on the serious elements. We've talked many a time about the communication being a key thing. So it's like, right, how do we keep our customers informed of what's happening, keep the relevant parties together? So you had creativity to create the WhatsApp group and the coloured teams and all of these things, always because your focus is, right, we've got products, we're teamed up with a company, the manufacturer that we believe in, that believe in us as well. We want to go out and provide this product and service. Now, I love it because I always sort of have a joke is that if I turn around and say my company, Visual PR Productions, does a video podcast series with a company that do double glazing conservatories and doors, and I stop at that, they kind of go, oh, okay. And I then follow up with saying it's the most fun one that I do, and that's because of the creativity. I mean, we get to be creative. Don't you find it brings it out in you? Is that I get to be creative?
Most definitely,
because these guys lead the way.
That's my favourite thing to do, and I think with the podcast, for example, I think that the second biggest listened to one, if that's the right way of saying it.
She got creative with that one.
I know what I'm trying to say there. But it was about roofs, different types of conservatory roof, because you've got these lantern roofs, you've got the glass roofs,
the roofs.
There's lots of nice roofs you can have.
I thought you were going to say roofs.
Most listened by everybody else.
It's very well listened to, and it's just super practical, isn't it? Because you're thinking of having a conservatory, that is one of the first things you need to know. What type of roof you're going to have, why, what's the different benefits,
most important decision on the extension. What type of roof do you want?
Yeah, because you need a roof.
You need a roof, and then otherwise it would just be a pond. It'd just be a swimming pool. I don't know ideas. But yeah, roof's so important, and to get that information out there.
It's just basic stuff that we can put out there for customers. They can consume it in their own time, make their own decisions, then come in to somewhere lovely like this and talk to us.
Too many people, when they're doing, whether it's informative or educational, especially if training, is that there's too many that just kind of deliver, I've got to deliver all of this information, this is what the case is. And it's like, no, it really doesn't need to. Make it engaging, and I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to take it on board. I'm going to be thinking while I'm listening, and bang, we then know what we're doing. So by the time I come and speak to you, we're already a few steps ahead of the game.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of what we do, we always say this, with windows and doors and conservatories, it's not an emotive thing. It's not like a holiday or a car where people save up for 3 years and I finally got my dream white PVC window. It isn't that sort of thing, but it's a practical thing, whether it's security, energy efficiency, the look, whatever it might be. So I think actually what we, a lot of customers, you go and see a customer and say, grab the window and I'll give you a quick demonstration of the window. And they say things like, the window's just a window. We don't need to see that. And I say, well, that's swearing to me. Once you then show them the window, I love it when they turn around and say, fair enough, a window isn't just a window. So there's a lot of different elements to it, and I think a lot of what we do is quite practical. You mentioned about roofs, condensation in glass, laminated glass, whatever it might be. But actually,
extension.
Exactly. All these things are, can be quite dry subjects. But actually, when you inject a bit of personality into it and a bit of passion into it, and you explain to customers why they're important, all of a sudden they sit up. Wow, hadn't even crossed my mind. Okay, I do want that. I do want this. And actually, unless you present that and show that customer, they're never going to know that. No. And that can be done in many different ways. And that's.
Because I mean, I even think things that I've found interesting over our conversations is like we even had it recently with the new doors that you've got coming on the way. Is that you're supposed to close and lift up, and if you don't, that starts warping your door.
Yeah.
And now you've got what they call it, slam lock. That it does it in the 3 points straight away. So you're now making sure that it's going to last. It's not going to be warping.
Yeah.
Windows that you've said about this before, I think, where the mechanisms sort of become unaligned or something, and you suddenly can't close your window properly, and it's like going the 20-year guarantee. You know, you could just turn around and go, "Hey, it's got a 20-year guarantee." Well done. It's out of context. I don't know, but it's about providing that context in the information that we're talking about, but in an engaging way.
Yeah.
One of the ones that I think got a lot of traction that I remember you saying is you're really exciting new premises that you're opening in Witney.
Witney, yes, we are.
And that's been on socials, hasn't it?
Yes, it has indeed. Yeah,
It has.
It's done really well, that place.
It's a lovely shop. We're really excited. I know we briefly mentioned it in the last. We're now a lot further along the way of the renovation, so we're hoping to maybe start of August, and we'll give a release date a little bit sooner than that. But yeah, it's really exciting, and we're doing some bits with the local shops. We did it with Millets, where we put at Millets Farm. We've probably said this before, but there's artisan shops in the area next to our little unit, and we created a leaflet which went out to all of the people in the local area just to introduce ourselves. But in that leaflet, we put all the artisan shops on, and we're in talks at the moment with some of the shops in Witney, aren't we, Sara, about making a leaflet similar and putting some of the independent shops in that leaflet and delivering it across. So really become part of the community. We're also in talks with the charity in Witney to
Dogs for Good.
Dogs for Good, to do something with Sean, who we've all met, who's wonderful. He used to work in the shop. So yeah, we're looking forward to becoming part of the Cotswold community, isn't it? So it's good.
And for me, it was about it was all about the location, wasn't it? We do a lot of work, you know, in the Oxfordshire area anyway, and for us, it was finding. It didn't so much matter about what the premises was like inside. It was all about that location, because I think that's what we found here. So many people wander into the showroom. We say, "How did you hear about us?" And it might be through social media, it might be the website, it might be that. But a lot of people, we drove past, we saw the sign, and that for us was a big thing to get brand awareness and stuff like that. So actually being, in a shop. There's a bus that goes past. You went there at 11 in the morning on a Tuesday. I went there at 7 o'clock in the evening on a Friday, and it's equally as busy. And so for us, it's about getting our name out there, getting out what we do, but also immersing ourselves into that community as well.
Yeah, and it was wonderful. Sean gave us a big old tour, didn't he, of the whole place. We met loads of shop owners, loads of the gelato shop, which is really good gelato. I mean, the lady that works in there forces you to have one, doesn't she? You literally have to have one, but they're really, really good. So it's a lovely place, and it's a good mixture of old companies and people who've been there forever with sort of high street shops with new companies. So it's really, it's quite an exciting place to
be. And actually he talked about that, didn't he? So Sean, who gave us the grand tour, he talked about the fact that actually Witney as a place, although it's kind of steeped in history and they like the way that they've done things, they're always open to new ideas. And I think actually that kind of resonated with me, because that for me is what TWC is all about. We have our way of doing things. Certain things don't change. They've been the same since day one, but we'll always try something new. And like we said, whether that be a zany idea, whether that be someone that's worked here for 2 weeks, it turns around and says, "Why don't you do it like that? Have you ever thought about trying that?" We'll always try something new, because if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, no worries, we'll try something else.
Jeremy Clarkson's been ringing us quite a bit, isn't he, to try and open the shop.
Yeah, he wants to know when the opening ceremony is going to be.
Yeah, bless him. Just hounding him, isn't it? Even Caleb's been on the text.
Yeah, they can't wait.
If you got Harriet open, I'll be there, mate.
Hawkstones on the front.
I mean, really exciting. I mean, I saw that post. I said to you guys, and I said, "Oh, guys, right on." You're like, "Oh, how did you know that?" So from the socials, I saw it in the photo and everything. And I look forward to seeing more about that. And it's that power of getting the information out.
And it's funny what works and what doesn't. That's always sort of blown my mind a little bit. I know sometimes you'll post something, oh, that's great, that's going to be brilliant, that's going to get loads of engagement and stuff like that. And sometimes it doesn't. And then other things that can be quite innocuous just fly. I mean, obviously the big one was the one that, as we call it, Letterbox Gate. And we posted quite a simple before and after. It was nothing, and it had something like 250,000 engagements and stuff like that, and it was people saying, my husband's a postie, how dare you have a letterbox down at the bottom and stuff like that. But it just created this massive sort of debate in the comments.
What made us laugh is we'd installed the door, and the customer actually had like one of those post boxes that the postman actually puts them in a post box.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see that on the picture, so everybody's sort of really giving this customer, and the customer wasn't in the post, but really said, I can't believe they'd have a door like that.
What a disgrace!
Ridiculous! What a disgrace! And I really remember looking at these posts, going, I mean, if we'd have just stood back 2 steps, you would have definitely seen the post box. But it was really funny, and I was banned by you, I believe. I think it was you, from posting, because some of the comments were just really funny. So we started to have a bit of a laugh. In fact, you was the one that was banned.
I did on Friday night after a couple of sherbets.
It was you, sorry.
It was a little bit.
It was you. We were just having a bit of a laugh with it, but it was crazy, wasn't it? How widespread that post went. It was brilliant.
And that's the point you got to. And I've always thought if someone's prepared to put their head above the parapet, then you've got to believe in what you're doing is right and true.
Yeah.
You're not going to take the risk otherwise, are you?
Yeah.
You're just going to keep yourself in the shadows.
And you're always going to get, when you put something out which we think is great, you understand you're always going to get a bit of negativity as well.
And that's mostly from me.
Well, actually, shout out to Christine, actually, the lady I've read the poem. So my wife's grandma, she's quite a sort of, regular poster on there about things that are good and things that are bad, but I like it because she'll often personally message me saying I preferred the before.
Yeah. Well, my nan's banned. My nan is actually banned from our account. She literally was posting the same thing. I preferred the before. Why do you have to have such a hideous door? And I'm like, that's a customer's choice. But I didn't know Christine was doing.
She does it privately.
Yeah. My nan, we had to ban her. She's actually on the ban list.
I do love it.
She is 90. So.
Yeah. Obviously, charity, because I've almost sort of like in my head, I dubbed this one social media and social responsibilities, because it's kind of those social responsibilities, i.e., including charity and all that sort of stuff. It needs to be put in the public eye, not to sort of like go, aren't we great? But if you're trying to raise money for charity, you can't do it secretly.
Yeah.
And so that outlet enables you to raise that money.
Yeah, we've raised a lot of money, but actually, equally as important as raising the money is it's raising the awareness, isn't it? And sometimes, tagging these charities or shouting about them and stuff like that. We've done a lot of work for various different charities, and I think what certainly the feedback from them is that they obviously appreciate the money, but they equally appreciate, because we have got a large sort of audience, they equally appreciate to raise the awareness.
Yeah, it's that collaboration, isn't it? When we were talking back to the local element as well, we choose a lot of local charities to support, and we try and keep that really kind of close knit and help them. We've chosen really small local charities before to help raise their awareness.
That makes a huge difference, doesn't it? When it's a really small charity and you raise a little bit of money, it makes a huge difference to that particular charity.
In fact, I remember your Christmas grotto this year. You even turned to me and said, have you got any ideas of a charity, a local charity? You emphasise it has to be the question, and you keep which was the start of your relationship. Is again, it had to be a local company that you were going on this journey with. Which makes sense.
Yeah, we just got again. I think when you're working with people, and again, it is all about relationships and stuff like that. You've got to have those shared ideals, really. And I think if your ideals align, then it's going to naturally work. And if you were trying to take us, our relationship wouldn't have worked if you were trying to take us down a road which we didn't agree with, whereas actually the fact that we've got the same ideas about what we want to do and how we want to shout about it, well, that's why it's flourished. And
yeah, definitely.
Final question then, really, for you, Sara. What do you see the future potentially holding?
I think carrying on the harebrained schemes, keeping our creativity going for sure. These guys are always doing something brand new. They will just pop a message, like with the shop in Witney. Hey, we got a shop today. I'm like, okay.
Most episodes.
Brilliant. Keep me on my toes.
We're talking about that message coming through at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes 11 p.m.
So rolling with all the harebrained schemes.
That must be right up your street, these guys on that front, thinking about it, is that they're that mad that you'd go, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, it's great. And then I feel like sometimes ideas come to me and then I go, how about we do this? And they're like, yeah, go on, give it a try. It's just working together, deepening the relationship that we've got with them. And, our team love them as well. We're very much, we're always in marketing. There's so many different channels, absolutely tons of different channels. So we'll always be looking for the next new channel to be on.
And it's not a perfect science, is it? Like you said, some go amazing, some tank, and you go,
yes.
Why?
Yeah.
And it's like going, just keep going, different things. You never know what.
And you've just got to be where the customers are.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing for us. Is like, your customer, we know who your target customers are. We can see all the demographics in the back of Facebook. So we make sure we're where they are, and we're always offering them something different and giving all that lovely information to them so they can make an educated decision on a huge purchase, really.
Absolutely.
And for me, in terms of what the future holds, I suppose we made a decision quite a while ago, really, that we always wanted to be moving forward, growing, improving, taking on new people, and adding different sort of strings to our bow and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think that again, if you want to talk about what is TWC, well, for me, that's what it is this passionate, hugely. A big element of what we do is always moving forward, always improving, whether it be every day, every week, every month, trying to get better. And I think that's what, we want to shout about. And that's what this allows us to do. It's a small insight into what it is that we do. And you speak to any of the staff members, that's hopefully they'll agree with that it's about pushing forward, and always trying to push that envelope, really.
Which is why you wanted the last episode 9, to include from the manufacturer that you've teamed up with, the Connie outlet, because they're very much like that as well.
Yeah.
And you guys just seem to feed each other.
Yeah.
They're great.
Genuinely, I could see that myself just from chatting to you all. It's absolutely
And
brilliant.
the door release is actually going to be on time as well, isn't it? So we spoke about last, which I was really surprised, really giving Karen, bless her, some stick during the last time. She actually rang me afterwards and said, I can't believe you were so... And I said, wow, you look brilliant, but the doors are going to be on time, so thank you, Karen.
Absolutely. Look forward to that. What do they call it again? The slam
lock is out, but the new Forte designs are coming in.
I see.
There's the new rebrand.
So there's that level of excitement that keeps going. I do. I love it. I
imagine Sara. I had to get it in. We'll be all over social media about that.
Well, it's been brilliant.
Thank you.
Chatting to you all. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
I have no idea whether I should do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. evilempire.co.uk for Sara's side of the business. Sorry, guys.
She's really busy.
Thank you.
She's really busy at the moment. So. She isn't that good, to be honest. I'm joking.
That's all AI.
If you want a few AI posts.
I'd just like to say, it's not.
It's not.
Thank you.
We just know how to wind her up.
It's working.
Obviously, TWC home.co.uk, twchome.co.uk for you guys to find out.
Or on our socials.
On the socials, exactly. And we talked about that sort of like creativity is that you can go on. We were talking last episode about the doors, that you can design the doors and see it right into the grain and everything like that. So all sorts of amazing things. Go and find out more. We don't know what episode 11 is going to be yet, does it? We talk about harebrained.
Well, hopefully it's in the new Witney showroom. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
I do want to pop into this as well. If the person from the Maldives is watching this.
Yeah.
Shout
Do a
out.
show out there.
Yeah.
We want to know what you're building out there.
Invite us out.
Exactly.
Who are you?
Yeah, well, you're up for that, Tom? We'll do an episode out in the Maldives.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, that is the end of episode 10. Thank you very much for joining us,
You're
Sara.
going to do that
No
wave
worries.
play
Thank you
again?
for having me.
Yeah, we're going to do the wave.
Yeah, I'm not, but
Last episode, yeah. But thanks for joining us. We'll be back for episode 11. Until then, get in touch with these guys. Just ask the questions. Cheers all.
Bye.
bye.